Most people desire discipline, yet almost everyone keeps delaying the life they claim they want. We wait for motivation, we wait for clarity, we wait for the perfect moment. And while we wait, days quietly turn into weeks, and the distance between who we are and who we could become grows even wider. But the Stoics understood discipline differently. They never depended on emotion, inspiration, or mood. To them, discipline wasn't a feeling. It was a duty, a command, a way of living that does not bend to impulses or excuses. Today, you'll learn how to force yourself into that level of discipline. Not the soft, motivational type, but the tough, practical, and effective discipline the ancient Stoics lived by. In this video, we break down 6 powerful strategies to make discipline non-negotiable. If you're ready to stop waiting and start taking action, stay with me. This might be the most important shift you make this year. 1. The Stoic command: act before emotion arrives. Discipline does not wait for approval. Discipline does not care about your mood. Discipline starts the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. Most people in America fail at discipline not because they lack ability, but because they've accepted a dangerous myth. That action must come from the right emotion. They wait to feel confident before going to the gym. They wait to feel inspired before working on their goals. They wait to feel ready before starting something meaningful. But that moment rarely arrives, and deep down, they know it. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and life slips by while they try to get into the right headspace. A Stoic sees this for what it is, a silent trap that destroys potential long before life ever does. Your emotions are the most unreliable advisor you have. A Stoic acts first and lets the emotion adjust afterward. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. He didn't wake up every morning feeling like an emperor, a leader, or a warrior. He woke up tired, stressed, irritated, just like any modern man handling work, family, pressure, and expectations. But instead of arguing with his feelings, he gave himself a command. You are rising to do the work of a human being. Not because he wanted to, but because it was his duty. That single idea is the core of Stoic discipline. You act because the action is right, not because the feeling is pleasant. In America, people don't fall under hardship, they fall under hesitation. The moment discomfort appears, they pause. The moment doubt whispers, they retreat. The moment laziness shows up, they obey it like a master. But hesitation is where discipline dies. It's the invisible second where a person either grows stronger or weaker. A Stoic understands that the fastest way to destroy resistance is to move before it grows roots. When you stand up before your doubt forms, you take power back from the part of you that seeks comfort instead of growth. The more you negotiate with yourself, the more you lose. The more you act instantly, the more unstoppable you become. This is why disciplined people rarely look heroic on the outside. Their strength comes from small internal victories no one sees. They win when the alarm rings. They win just before excuses appear. They win just before fear speaks. These moments look tiny, but inside the mind, they are brutal battlegrounds. Once you start winning them consistently, your identity changes. You're no longer someone trying to be disciplined. You become someone who follows through. There is a powerful Stoic technique behind this transformation, starting small, starting fast, and starting cold. Beginning a task for just 2 minutes seems insignificant, but it breaks the mental barrier that stops most people. The mind resists the idea of an hour, but it can't resist 2 minutes. Once you begin, the weight disappears. Momentum takes over, and the task becomes easier than your emotions predicted. This rewires your brain to understand that action is possible even when the feeling isn't. Another technique is the ancient discipline of doing things cold. Modern culture worships comfort, warm-ups, perfect lighting, ideal conditions, hype music. But the Stoics practice doing difficult things without emotional warm-ups. Cold showers, cold starts, cold courage. When you stop waiting for comfort, you become immune to its absence. Your mind learns that discomfort is not a reason to stop. It's a signal to begin. The more you practice this, the less control fear and hesitation have over you. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never build a life that makes you proud. If you act even when you feel nothing, you become powerful in the best way. Imagine tomorrow morning, you open your eyes, you feel tired, stressed, unmotivated, the typical American morning. Your brain offers excuses, skip today, do it later, you deserve rest. But this time, you don't negotiate. You don't wait for clarity or alignment. You act, you stand up, you start the task. And in that moment, you become a different kind of person. Someone who leads their emotions, not someone led by them. For the next 24 hours, pick one task you've been avoiding and do it like a Stoic would. No delay, no warm-up, no emotional permission, just action. When you're done, you'll feel something rare in modern America. Self-respect earned in silence. Act before emotion. That is the Stoic command, and it is the beginning of unbreakable discipline. 2. Design a Spartan environment. Remove choices, remove failure. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you remain in the same environment, you remain the same person. Discipline collapses when your surroundings pull you backward. Most people believe discipline is about personal strength, waking up earlier, pushing harder, being mentally tougher. But the Stoics and modern behavioral science reveal something else. People rise to the level of their environment, not their intentions. If your room is chaotic, your mind becomes chaotic. If your phone is within reach, your focus disappears. If junk food sits in your kitchen, temptation wins. It's not moral failure, it's physics. Your surroundings influence your actions long before your thoughts do. The Stoics taught that you must remove the things that weaken your mind before demanding strength from it. That's why designing a Spartan environment is one of the most effective ways to force discipline into your life. If your environment makes bad decisions easy, you will make bad decisions. If your environment makes discipline the default, you become disciplined. Epictetus said, "If you slip, look to the place where you fell, not where you wish you had stood." In modern language, that means don't blame yourself. Fix the setup that caused the failure. If you fail your morning routine because your phone is the first thing you reach for, the issue isn't laziness, it's proximity. If you fail your diet because unhealthy food sits on your shelf, the issue isn't willpower, it's availability. If you fail your evenings because Netflix autoplays the next episode, it's not weakness, it's the structure you've built around yourself. Stoicism encourages you to redesign life in a way that prevents failure before it happens. A Spartan environment follows 3 principles: reduce friction for good habits, increase friction for bad ones, and simplify your choices so discipline becomes automatic. Reducing friction means making good actions easier to begin. Set your workout clothes out the night before, keep your journal open, place your book on your pillow so you're forced to pick it up. Increasing friction means placing obstacles in front of distractions. Uninstall junk apps, put the TV remote in another room, hide snacks where you can't see them. These small adjustments reshape your behavior without fighting your emotions every day. Environment is the secret tool disciplined people rarely mention. Most of their strength comes from design, not motivation. When Americans think of discipline, they imagine Marines yelling, athletes pushing limits, entrepreneurs grinding non-stop. But the truth is far simpler. Most disciplined people just make it hard to fail. They don't rely on motivation because motivation is unstable. They build systems that quietly take over the burden of decision-making. When your environment supports your discipline, life stops feeling like a struggle. Work becomes smooth, healthy habits feel natural, focus becomes ordinary. And every day you operate within that environment, your identity strengthens. This is just who I am now. But a Spartan environment isn't only physical. It's digital, social, and emotional. Digital noise destroys more discipline in America than anything else. The phone is the modern chaos machine, constantly pulling attention everywhere. Leaving your phone in another room, keeping it silent, or setting strict limits can transform your life more than motivation ever will. Socially, distance yourself from people who drain your focus and surround yourself with people who value growth. Emotionally, remove the inner clutter, doubt, guilt, perfectionism that makes every task heavier than it should be. Your environment should reflect the person you want to become, not the person you're trying to escape. Imagine coming home after a long day. The counter is clean, the desk organized, tomorrow's clothes already prepared. The book you want to read sits in the open, not buried under mess. No junk food, no noise, no distractions demanding attention. You feel lighter, clearer, stronger, because your environment now supports you instead of sabotaging you. Now imagine the opposite. Clutter everywhere, noise everywhere, temptations everywhere. Even the strongest intentions can't survive in that space. You're fighting a battle you can't win. Stoicism never asked you to be superhuman. It asked you to be wise, and wisdom means designing a life where discipline becomes easier, not harder. For the next 48 hours, redesign one part of your environment, your desk, your kitchen, your phone, your morning setup. Remove what weakens you, add what strengthens you. You'll feel the difference instantly. Not because life gets easier, but because your environment finally supports the person you want to become. Your environment is your discipline. Design it with intention. Live inside it with purpose. 3. Win micro battles. Discipline is built 10 seconds at a time. Big goals aren't what break you. It's the tiny moments that do. Discipline isn't built in hours, it's built in seconds. If you can win the next 10 seconds, you can win your entire day. Most people believe discipline comes from huge bursts of motivation, long workouts, intense study sessions, or massive energy. But real discipline isn't born from dramatic effort. Real discipline is shaped in those small, unnoticed micro moments no one else sees. It's the moment your alarm goes off and you want to stay in bed. It's the moment you reach for junk food instead of something decent. It's the moment you want to scroll when you should be focusing. These moments seem insignificant, but this is exactly where identity is formed, because each tiny choice becomes a vote for the person you want to become or the person you're trying to leave behind. If you lose the small moments, you lose the whole battle. If you win them, your momentum becomes unstoppable. Stoic philosophy teaches that the present moment is the only thing you truly control. Not tomorrow, not next week, not the giant mountain of tasks ahead. Just the moment that's right in front of you. Most people don't get overwhelmed because the task is too big, but because they try to carry the entire task at once. Their mind jumps to the whole workout, the entire project, the entire journey, and the weight becomes too heavy. A Stoic reduces the challenge. He doesn't try to climb the whole mountain. He just takes the next step. And this is where the 10-second rule becomes one of the most powerful tools to build discipline. When you face hesitation, stress, laziness, or fear, you don't negotiate. You don't wait for the perfect mindset. You simply say, for the next 10 seconds, I move. Anyone can handle 10 seconds of effort. Anyone can start something for 10 seconds. It breaks the mental resistance because your brain can't build a full emotional defense in such a short window, and once you begin, momentum does the rest. This simple technique has pulled countless people out of procrastination, stagnation, and years of inaction. Starting is always the hardest part. If you start, resistance melts. If you don't start, it multiplies. There's also the next 5 minutes rule, a Stoic-inspired method proven to interrupt procrastination. Instead of committing to a long task, you commit to just 5 disciplined minutes. That's it. 5 minutes of writing, cleaning, exercise, or focused work. If you want to continue afterward, great. If not, you still win because you acted. This builds what behavioral scientists call identity momentum. The moment your brain recognizes, I am someone who takes action. As this identity grows, discipline becomes easier. You start craving action because you've experienced the feeling of self-control, and it feels far better than comfort ever did. Imagine a regular American day. You come home exhausted from work. You tell yourself you'll exercise later, but later never arrives. But if your rule is just 5 minutes, you stand up, warm up lightly, do a few push-ups, maybe a quick jog. 5 minutes turn into 15. 15 become 25. And suddenly, you've completed a workout on a day you would have completely given up. This doesn't just strengthen your body, it strengthens your belief that you follow through even when you don't feel like it. Discipline isn't built from intensity, it's built from consistency, and consistency is built from micro-victories. These small battles aren't just physical, they're emotional and mental. The moment you want to speak out of anger, the moment you want to quit because something feels uncomfortable, the moment you want to avoid a difficult conversation. Winning these internal moments is what makes someone unshakable. You learn to pause, breathe, and act by principle rather than impulse. Each time you override an emotional reflex, you build deeper mastery over your inner world, and that is the highest form of discipline the Stoics pursued. Imagine the transformation if you won just 10 micro-battles a day, 10 moments choosing discipline over desire, 10 moments choosing effort over comfort, 10 moments choosing focus over distraction. Multiply that over weeks, months, and years, and you become a version of yourself that once felt impossible. Small victories shape your entire destiny. Win the next 10 seconds, win the next 5 minutes, and you win the life you've been chasing. 4. Voluntary discomfort. Train your mind to stop fear and difficulty. Comfort is discipline's silent enemy. The more comfortable you become, the weaker your will grows. If discomfort scares you, you'll fear your own potential. One of the harshest Stoic truths is this: humans suffer more from the fear of discomfort than discomfort itself. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Modern America proves this daily. People quit workouts not because they're impossible, but because they're uncomfortable. They avoid tough conversations not because they're dangerous, but because they create emotional tension. They avoid change not because they lack ability, but because staying the same feels easier. Today's world has made comfort so accessible that most people can't tolerate even mild difficulty, and that makes discipline nearly impossible. The problem isn't discomfort. The problem is avoiding it. If you run from discomfort, you'll run from every goal you have. Stoicism teaches something radically different: voluntary discomfort. Instead of avoiding uncomfortable things, you intentionally step into them. Not because you like suffering, but because it trains your mind to stay calm when life gets hard. When you regularly expose yourself to controlled discomfort, you build psychological armor. Challenges stop feeling overwhelming. Stress stops feeling catastrophic. Fear stops controlling you. You become someone who doesn't collapse when things get uncomfortable, and that alone puts you ahead of most people today. One of the simplest ways to practice this is through physical rituals that break your comfort patterns. Cold showers are a perfect example. The moment the water hits you, your mind screams, "Stop!" But you don't stop. You breathe, you stand, you endure, and within seconds, the fear dissolves. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. This teaches your mind something powerful. You can experience discomfort without running from it. If you can handle cold water, you can handle a hard life. Strength isn't built by avoiding difficulty. It's built by facing it. Another method is doing your hardest task first. Most people like easing into the day, slowing down, avoiding difficulty. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. When you begin with the hardest thing, you send a message to your own mind. We don't run from challenges. Everything else in your day becomes easier because you've already defeated the biggest obstacle. Voluntary discomfort also includes emotional courage, being willing to have tough conversations instead of hiding from them. Many people choose silence over honesty, resentment over truth, and avoidance over responsibility. But emotional discomfort is a powerful training ground. When you face the conversation you fear, you build stability inside yourself. When you handle conflict calmly, you grow stronger. When you finally say the thing you've been avoiding, you free yourself from anxiety. The Stoics believed that courage in small moments creates courage in big ones, and discomfort is the fastest path to that growth. If you avoid discomfort daily, life becomes heavy. If you face discomfort daily, life becomes conquerable. Another Stoic tactic is removing comfort triggers, the little conveniences that weaken discipline. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, carrying groceries without a cart, walking instead of driving short distances, not using your phone while eating. They seem small, even silly, but they build toughness over time. You become someone who can handle inconvenience without falling apart. Imagine your life if discomfort no longer scared you. You'd start the business you've been hesitating on. You'd get in shape without quitting every 2 weeks. You'd walk away from toxic people without guilt. You'd build habits without collapsing the moment things get difficult. You would finally trust yourself, because you'd know you can handle the hard things. Comfort builds weakness. Discomfort builds warriors. You can't develop discipline inside a padded life. Step into discomfort and discipline will rise with you. For the next 72 hours, choose one discomfort to practice daily. Cold showers, early wake-ups, workouts without music, no phone in the morning, one hard conversation, or doing your hardest task first. It doesn't matter which one. What matters is that you choose something. The moment you embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it, your discipline shifts from a struggle into a natural state of being. Discomfort isn't the enemy. Discomfort is the doorway. Walk through it and become unbreakable. 5. Identity discipline. Become the person who doesn't skip. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. If you want unbreakable discipline, you must become the type of person who simply doesn't skip. Identity is stronger than motivation, habits, or willpower. Most people try to build discipline with effort, pressure, or guilt. They repeat to themselves, "I need to try harder, I should be better, I need more motivation." But this rarely works. Trying harder collapses the moment life gets stressful. Motivation disappears as soon as discomfort shows up, and guilt drains energy instead of creating it. Stoicism offers something far deeper. Discipline becomes easy when your behavior aligns with the identity you're committed to becoming. When your actions reflect the person you believe you are, effort becomes natural, not forced. This is the shift from behavior-based discipline to identity-based discipline. the deepest level of transformation. What you do occasionally matters far less than what you believe about yourself. Consistent action isn't just a habit, it's the reflection of identity. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. Everything he wrote in Meditations wasn't a checklist, it was a declaration of identity. This is how a good man behaves. This is how a just man behaves. This is how a disciplined man behaves. He didn't demand perfection from himself. He reminded himself of who he was and acted from that identity. That was his blueprint. Most people today are stuck because they think discipline is something they try to do. But a Stoic turns discipline into something they are. When you shift your identity, your behavior naturally follows. Identity discipline begins with a simple but powerful practice: writing identity statements. These statements lock the person you want to become into your daily awareness. For example, I am the man who finishes what he starts. I am the woman who keeps her promises to herself. I am the person who shows up even when it's inconvenient. These lines may look small, but they act like mental commands. They shift the center of gravity inside your mind, turning discipline into your natural state instead of a constant fight. Your identity must be louder than your excuses. If your excuses define you, they will control you. Another part of identity discipline is tracking your consistency, not your perfection. Many people ruin their progress because they treat mistakes like failure. One skipped workout becomes a bad week. One bad day becomes a bad month. But identity-driven people don't collapse after slipping. They get back on track immediately. They understand identity is built through repetition, not flawless performance. A Stoic doesn't say, "I failed." A Stoic says, "I resume." This mindset stops self-sabotage and keeps momentum alive. Every time you return after falling off, you strengthen your identity more than when you never miss. Identity is also shaped by what you refuse to tolerate. When you refuse to allow laziness, excuses, or mediocrity from yourself, you rise. When you refuse to negotiate with your weaker impulses, you rise. When you refuse to trade long-term commitments for temporary comfort, you rise. Who you become depends on what you refuse to accept. In a world built on convenience and instant gratification, choosing the harder path consistently becomes a quiet rebellion and a silent form of greatness. You cannot live a disciplined life with an undisciplined identity. Your standards must become your backbone. Today, people are drowning in distractions, endless streaming, non-stop notifications, dopamine traps, and pressure to take it easy. But identity discipline cuts through all of it. When you decide you are the kind of person who does the work whether or not you feel like it, you become immune to the noise. When you decide you are someone who honors commitments, your mind stops searching for shortcuts. When you choose to be someone who finishes what they start, your emotions stop controlling your actions. This is the Stoic path, not to feel powerful, but to act powerfully. To build identity discipline, start with a daily identity review. Every night, ask yourself 3 questions. Did I behave like the person I want to become? Where did I break character? How will I correct it tomorrow? These questions keep your identity alive. They stop you from sliding back into old patterns. They help you build discipline from the inside out, not through force, but through alignment. Your identity is your greatest source of strength. If you want to change your life, change who you believe you are. For the next 7 days, choose one identity statement and live by it relentlessly. Say it every morning. Live it throughout the day. Review it at night. It will feel uncomfortable at first because you're stepping into a higher version of yourself, but discomfort is proof of growth. Each day you honor your identity, discipline stops being a struggle and becomes your natural expression. Become the person who doesn't skip. Become the person who follows through. Become the person your future self will thank you for. 6. Steady your mind. Build discipline through cognitive control. Your mind is the battlefield. If you cannot master your thoughts, you cannot master your actions. Discipline begins in the mind long before it appears in behavior. Most people think discipline is about forcing the body, waking up early, grinding harder, pushing through pain. But the real battle happens internally. The Stoics understood that the body only follows the mind, and the mind follows the beliefs you feed it daily. If your thoughts are chaotic, your life becomes chaotic. If your thoughts are fearful, your actions shrink. If your thoughts are undisciplined, everything else follows that pattern. Discipline is not just physical, it's a mental craft. You cannot build a strong life with a weak mind. The strongest version of you begins in your thoughts. Cognitive control is the Stoic skill of directing your attention, calming your impulses, and choosing your response instead of letting emotions decide for you. It is the ability to pause before reacting, to interpret clearly, and to bring your focus back to what matters. In a world of distraction, outrage, stress, and instant gratification, this becomes a superpower. When your mind is steady, disciplined behavior becomes natural, not forced, not fragile. One powerful Stoic tool is the Stoic pause, a 2-second interruption between stimulus and response. When frustration, boredom, temptation, or stress shows up, you pause, you breathe, you take back the steering wheel. In those 2 seconds, you separate emotion from action. Most people skip this completely. They feel something and instantly react. This reactive cycle kills discipline because it gives full control to whatever emotion shows up. But when you master the Stoic pause, you break the cycle and regain your power. A controlled mind creates controlled actions. A reactive mind destroys everything in its path. Another tool is the dichotomy of control, the Stoic principle that separates what you can control from what you can't. Many people waste mental energy worrying about outcomes, opinions, timing, circumstances, and uncertainty. When your mind spends energy on what isn't yours to control, you have nothing left for disciplined action. The Stoics teach that clarity comes from focusing only on your own command, your effort, your attitude, your preparation, your decisions. This clarity creates calm, and calm creates discipline. Premeditatio malorum, the practice of imagining setbacks before they happen, is another tool of cognitive control. Instead of being surprised by difficulty, you expect it. You mentally rehearse obstacles. You visualize challenges and your reactions. This destroys emotional panic. People often quit not because the challenge is too hard, but because they didn't expect resistance. Stoics expect the struggle, so they stay steady. When your mind is prepared for difficulty, your discipline holds firm. What the mind expects, the body can endure. Preparation turns chaos into clarity. Cognitive control also requires mastering your attention. Today, attention is attacked every second. Notifications, ads, media, entertainment, impulses, dopamine traps. Your mind is pulled in every direction by forces designed to weaken your focus. When your attention breaks, your discipline breaks. To counter this, Stoic discipline requires mental guardrails, intentional limits that keep your mind steady. This means putting your phone away while working, setting focus windows, practicing deep work, and protecting your mental bandwidth. Attention is the currency of discipline. Guard it like treasure. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you don't control your focus, someone else will. A powerful practice within cognitive control is the return to task loop, the ability to bring your mind back every time it drifts. Most people think discipline means never getting distracted, but real discipline is the ability to return quickly, without frustration, without shame, without quitting. Every time you return, you strengthen the neural pathways of discipline. The return becomes a victory. Over time, your mind learns that wandering is temporary and focus is home. This matters because the mind shapes identity and identity shapes behavior. If your thoughts say, "I can't stay consistent," you'll confirm it. If your thoughts say, "This is too hard," your body will stop trying. But if your thoughts say, "I show up regardless," your actions will follow. People often underestimate how quickly thoughts become self-fulfilling. Stoicism teaches you to guard your thoughts with the same intensity you guard your goals. Imagine a mind that doesn't panic when things get hard, doesn't crumble under pressure, and doesn't obey every emotion. A mind that stays calm in chaos. A mind that returns to focus instantly. A mind that does what's right instead of what's easy. With that mind, discipline is not a fight, it becomes your nature. Master your mind and discipline becomes automatic. Master your thoughts and your life becomes unshakable. The mind is your greatest weapon. Sharpen it daily. For the next 24 hours, practice cognitive control deliberately. Pause before reacting. Separate what you can control from what you can't. Rehearse challenges in advance. Protect your attention. Return to the task every time your mind drifts. These small practices create enormous strength. Control your mind, and your discipline will never betray you. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build one decision at a time.